Morning. Mm. Yesterday I worked with 6 or 7 different clients, intensive sessions with each of them, and there was a lot of tears that rolled through my office yesterday. A lot of energy movement, a lot of emotional clearing and understanding of their deeper, richer selves of who they truly were. It was absolutely a beautiful, powerful day, and I have a feeling that today's going to be on the same lines. Good morning, Addison. But this morning, I came home last night, and I just was wiped out from all of the energy and just the conversations and the holding of space. So I crashed pretty early, but got up this morning, went to yoga. I found out that my yoga class wasn't available. So here I am doing conscious coffee. I used to do conscious coffee around 6 o'clock in the morning all the time. And I thought, this morning I'll just go ahead and I'll do an early conscious coffee again. Rolling back the good old days of 6 o'clock. So yeah, I do have actually coffee this morning too. So that's a good thing. But as I was driving to my yoga class, it did not exist for me this morning. I was thinking about all of these beautiful souls that I was working with yesterday, and I was thinking also about just other people that I have in my life, and other clients and all this different stuff. And what I came to realize is that right now, a lot of people are right in the middle of the shit, aren't they? I mean, we're kind of feeling it with this freaking coronavirus thing going around, and everybody's freaking out about it and in panic mode. And that's a whole nother topic that I'm not going to go down. It's not needed here. But there's just a lot of panic going on, and there's this whole energy shift that has taken place that I've seen where on the front end of the year, everybody was very much gung-ho and moving forward and, just feeling like, yeah, I want change. I want this. I'm going to make 2020 amazing. And there was all these comments around, 2020 is going to be amazing. It's going to be so freaking awesome. I'm going to make my dreams happen in 2020 vision, all this different stuff. And much like every new year, a whole bunch of people kind of fell off of that and went, oh, it's just another year. Just another year. That's what the big one is, right? Just another year. Who am I to think that I'm going to have the year that I want? Who am I to think that I can do these things that I want to do, that I feel called to do? And that kind of causes this internal suffering that goes on, because we start to look at the clock, at the calendar, and we start to go, well, here it is now March. It's, we're a quarter of the way into the year. And what do I have to show for it? I don't have anything to show for. I still got all the shit around me. I still got this going on. I still got that going on. I haven't gotten to this. I haven't gotten to that. The year has just whizzed by, and I haven't really gotten anywhere that I really want to. And already we're a quarter of the way through. And we start to analyze and criticize that kind of stuff. And that leads us into the land of pain and suffering, because now we are judging ourselves. We are judging the clock. We're judging what needs to get done. And this leads to a whole bunch of shit that does not need to occur. So what do we do when we get trapped into this shit and we're worried about the things that are going on that we can't control, like the coronavirus? And we look at our world, and maybe we're struggling with work, or maybe we're struggling in a relationship, or maybe we're struggling with health challenges still, or money, or something. We're just looking like, when is the shit going to go away? Truly, when is it going to go away? What do? We put our head down, and we do a couple different things. We either really crank out some fierce work, and we're really just like, no, I'm going to force this shit to move. I'm going to make sure that it happens. I'm really, really going to get in there, and I'm really going to just plow through it at all cost. I question if all cost is really, truly worth it, number one, because at all cost can sometimes end up costing you far more than what you thought that the all cost was going to cost you. So it can expand out. But then the other thing that we do is we kind of bury our heads in the sand, and we just kind of go, no, I'm going to just get lost in my daily activity. We don't necessarily do it consciously, but the daily activity, like maybe we do have a workout program. So we go and we work out, and then we go to work, and then we have our family, and we have our TV shows that we watch. And this is all us getting lost in our normalcy, because we haven't gotten what we want so far in life. So now, or in the last 90 days for sure, we haven't succeeded at different things. So now we're like, oh man, I'm kind of exhausted. I'm exhausted from not getting what I want. I'm exhausted from keeping tabs on all this stuff. I'm exhausted for looking for it to show up when it's not showing up. And it's just exhausting to watch it not show up. Where the fuck is it? Where is it? So we bury ourselves. We just go, oh, I'm going to just ignore it. I'm just going to ignore this, because watching it's not doing any good. But do we really truly ignore it? No, we don't ignore it. We keep it right up here, right? And we sit there and we watch our TV show, or we work out, or we try to engage with other people, or we busy ourselves with family or with different things. And all the while in the back of our head, we're worried about this stuff that is not manifesting for us. We're worried about the stuff that's not coming in, and it causes anxiety in our body, tension in our body. But we're so comfortable with that anxiety and that tension that we don't even catch it. So what is the answer? Number one, let that shit go. Just do that. Let that shit go. Now, I know that sounds far, like I'm just making light of it, of just let it go. Just put it down, right? Just boom, down, over. Look, no hands. Yeah. But at some point we have to do that. We have to just get sick and tired of being sick and tired and put that shit down, and realize that all the worry that we are putting towards it is not assisting us. It's not helping us. Instead, it is hindering us. It's keeping us in this mode of worry, in this mode of scarcity, in this mode of contraction. And we're never going to fully be able to draw in the things that we want when we are contracted, because contracted means that we're making ourselves small. Energetically, we are not able to carry our dreams and our goals. We're not able to receive our dreams and goals because we're contracted, because we have made ourselves small. And we're doing it through worry. We're doing it through frustration. We're doing it through watching the fucking clock and going, where is it? 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 Why isn't this showing up? That's contraction, because we're so focused on the evidence of it not showing up that we've now made it absolutely impossible for it to show up, because we're giving it no space to come to us. No space to come to us. The only way we get what we want is to expand, to open, and to allow ourselves to be revealed. So we have to open up, to grow our vessel, to grow our container, to receive what we want. We must grow. We must create something bigger than. But how do we do that? How do we do it? Number one, again, let that shit go. Okay? That's a key point here. Let that shit go. Maybe I should title Conscious Coffee, let that shit go. Let that shit go. But as I was driving to yoga, back to the original story. As I was driving to yoga, I was thinking about sex, because I had sex this morning. And morning sex to me sucks. I'm not a big morning sex person. I'm just like, my body's not into it. My body is just, it's hard for me to get embodied in the morning. I'm waking up and I need coffee and I need to stretch and I need to kind of get into my being and get out of this morning fog. And I like to have like my morning routine and, do my meditation and get into here to be able to feel. But morning sex it's not bad. There's a positive to morning sex. I've learned to appreciate morning sex because it allows me to see where my holdbacks are. It allows me to see how quickly I step into thinking and how I need to let that shit go. So I use morning sex for this consistent reminder of like, girl, you're not letting that shit go. Like you wake up and you start thinking about boom, 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 boom. And you're not moving into the ease of the day. Some mornings I do great. Some mornings, morning sex is wonderful. And it's because I've managed to not go into think mode right away. But as I was driving to yoga, I was thinking about morning sex. I was like, sex is good. Like I have lots of good sex. But I feel a lack in an essence to some of the sex that I know is possible, that I know that I can have, that I know that I can experience. I was thinking about some of that sex of my past, and I was thinking about it, and then I felt like this yearning. I felt this emptiness, this void, this suffering came in because I started thinking about it, and I went, oh, but I don't have that right this very second. That wasn't my morning sex. Like, that's not the way my morning sex was. I want my morning sex to be like that. I want this to be like that. I was really kind of got caught in the, but that wasn't this experience for me. And I went, what the hell am I doing? Right? So I let that shit go. And I went, wait a second. It was good this morning, but it wasn't that. But what I can do is I can focus and I can be like, I know that that's possible. So what made that so good? What made that so gourmet, so yummy, has me going, I want more of that. It was the connection. It was the energetics. It was the arousal. It was the time. It was the deep love. It was all of this different stuff. It was everything lining up in the order that it needed to line up in. Now I could look at it and I could go, oh, but, and I could just put it on to this person or people that I've experienced that with. And I could be like, well, that was just that was just there because of so-and-so. Now that would throw me into that need department that I've been on my soapbox over the last 3 days and just becoming codependent to the idea of somebody else being the be-all, do-all solution to this particular challenge, right? But that's not the thing. It's not about the person. It's about the connection. It's about the embodiment. It's about the getting out of here and into the body. And then what I realized was I don't deny myself. I don't deny myself, which means that I'm constantly giving opportunity to open up. Even though this morning was not a magical experience, like I would have loved it to be. Even though that's the case, I still opened up the channel for it to be there. I didn't shut it down. The thing that I've seen the most over the last couple weeks with clients in my life is this thought process of, I need to get it all right. I need to be fully healed. I have to have like all my pieces put together before I can open up and experience this over here. I have a fear around not being good enough to receive. Therefore, I'm not going to let anything in. I'm going to remain like this, and I'm not going to let anything in. I'm not going to go and push myself. I'm not going to open up. I'm not going to go and experience. And on topic of sex, I thought back about 12, 13 years, and I thought back to when I was married and I was having a lot of duty sex, and none of it was good. None of it was all duty, and it was all empty, and I was feeling like I was raping myself consistently, and it was not a good thing. I was a lot of bitterness and resentment built up from that over the course of that period, and that meant that I had a lot more healing work to do in the course of that time frame. And when we separated, I ended up with 11 boyfriends. After that, for about 2 years, I had 11 boyfriends. I know that's a lot, and they all knew about each other. It was all very open and honest and everything. Beautiful experience of open integrity relationships. And I knew that I didn't want a solid, one-on-one relationship at that moment in my life. So I was learning about myself and I was healing. And here's the thing. I went from this space of having duty sex, and I was not healed, and I had a lot of bitterness, and I had a lot of anger, and I had a lot of healing that I needed to do, and mentally, emotionally, physically, I had all of this stuff that I needed to learn and then I needed to heal. Something inside of me said, but shutting it all the way down and trying to do all of this work here isn't going to provide me with the experiences that I need, the lessons that I need. And what I ended up doing was I called in originally this one beautiful man into my life who is still a dear friend of mine. And I called him into my life, and I was thinking about it, the last time him and I had sex, it wasn't magical. It wasn't phenomenal. It wasn't great. It was kind of normal. It was just kind of normal. I mean, it was connective. It was a lot of love there because we had, all these years together. There was a lot of love in it. I remember it as a good experience, but it wasn't a mind-blowing experience. It wasn't this deep, ravenous, magical event that I remember from a decade ago when we first got together. And I was like, whoa. I had 3 orgasms and he touched me like this and it was passionate like that and we did this and we did that and that didn't happen. No, the sex had become connected and us being friends and being close, it was good, but I had expanded myself and tasted of all this other stuff, by the last time him and I had sex. I had also experienced this astronomical, mind-blowing stuff over here that was magical, that was deeply spiritual. So then I look at this moment and I was looking at that sex and I'm like, oh, but that was just more normal. It's kind of more normal. It wasn't anything but it was still good. It was still good. And I made the opportunity to have it when I didn't have a whole bunch coming into my world. I made the opportunity to have that, to keep myself in the energy of it, to keep the connection there, to keep the friendship, the love, the feeling, all that goes with it outside of just the actual sex. I went for the connection of it and still the remaining open to receiving potentially something yummy. In every area, and I know I'm off on sex, but this applies to every single area. When we constrict and go into the mode of I can't allow myself to have this until I succeed, achieve whatever we think we need to, we create resistance to actually allowing good shit into our life because we're so focused on I must be perfect before I allow something in, with the idea that in our creation of us becoming perfect, that we're going to draw in this perfect thing. There ain't nothing perfect out there. Okay, especially in the land of relationship, especially when we deal with like, oh, I want to receive this much money and I need to receive it just so. I want this kind of relationship in my life and I want it to look like this, sound like that, taste like that. I want it to show up like this. And we try to control that. But all of that control, all of that waiting game that we do, it really does constrict us. It prevents us instead of opening us up to different possibilities, to learning ourselves. Those 11 lovers that I had, those men taught me about me. They taught me the things that I hadn't learned the first 30 years of my life. They taught me about the things that I needed to know that impact me in so many different areas of my world. They also healed me in different ways. I remember way back in the day, those many, many moons ago when I had those 11 lovers, I remember that I wanted a boob job and I absolutely hated my breasts. And I remember this one particular guy, I had 3 men in the course of like 2 weeks without that. None of them knew that I hated my breasts and I wasn't running around going, I want a boob job. But in the back of my head, I was thinking about, like, I even went in and got fitted and looked at what different sizes would look like on me and what they would look like in clothes. And I did all this different stuff, all the pre-op, kind of exploration stuff. And I checked into it. And then over the course of about 2 weeks, 3 of my lovers, in the middle of love making or directly after, or like when I was getting undressed or dressed, 3 of them made a comment about how they loved my natural breasts, how they thought that it was amazing, and so many people today didn't have them, and how they just really appreciated that, and blah, blah, blah. And I remember them making all these comments. And I went, really? And I couldn't believe it. And started to look at my body differently. Truly, those 11 lovers prevented me from going underneath the knife and actually doing plastic surgery. So I have no plastic surgery thanks to those men. Game-changing, life-changing. Over and over again, they impacted me in so many different ways. With my business, with my body, with the different things that I wanted to learn, with different experiences, pushing my boundaries in different healthy ways, teaching me about me. Whether it is a sexual partner or it is a life experience, it's something that you might not want to go, you want to do, but you're scared to do. You're like, oh, can I do that? Can I do that? And you really want to do that, but you're like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it because I'm not ready to. I can't do it because I'm not ready to. I can tell you what, this whole concept of I've got to be ready before I take action. I've got to be ready before I open up. I've got to be ready before I explore. I've got to be ready before I can take that on. I've got to be ready, got to be ready, got to be ready. It's about the getting ready to be ready and taking action as if you are already ready. Because as long as you sit around and you wait and you consistently wait and you're waiting for everything to get lined up and perfect, your life will go by. Your life will pass you the fuck by. And you will remain constricted, always looking at what you don't have, always feeling empty, always feeling lost, always in this land of suffering, in this land of lostness, because you're not opening up and experiencing. You're not creating the channels for the good shit to come in. You're remaining over here. And yes, you get a lot of work done. And going internal, that's definitely, we got to go internal. We've got to find the love. We got to find the joy. We got to find the peace. We got to find the happiness. We got to find the passion, the purpose. Everything does come from within. But we get to learn about ourselves through experience. And experience, 98% of it happens outside of ourselves, by us putting ourselves into situations that cause us to grow. Even when they might feel a little painful every now and then. Yesterday, a beautiful client of mine, she comes in and she tells me she's doing all of this internal work, and she's doing massive amount of growth. She's not in the space for a relationship, although she wants a relationship. She's not in the space for a relationship. And this man came into her life, and he was very persistent and very connective, and she just felt emotionally charged to him, and everything was just, it was so easy, so smooth, so turned on. And she even told him, she's like, but I'm not in a place for this, so thank you, but no thank you. And then he persisted, and she's like, okay, maybe I just need to let this shit go. Maybe I just need to experience this moment, and let's just see where it goes. So she opened the door to him, and she opened the door to him, and she was like, okay, fine, we can go out on a date. So they go out on a date, and they end up spending the weekend together. They end up having some beautiful moments together. She shares her heart and her soul with him. They connect, and he's like, this is amazing, this is amazing, this is amazing. And then 2 weeks into it, he lets her know, he tells her, this has been great, but I need to take a moment. I need some space, because this is too much for me to hold. It's too much for me to handle. And he retreats. He retracts his energy. He retracts his connection to her. And she's going, am I too much? What did I do wrong? Maybe I was too intimate. I just bared my heart to this man. He's holding all of it. And now he's gone. He's just gone. Oh. She's very, very caught up on it. But at the same time, realizing, and this was the point that I was making to her, was just this. What a beautiful experience. You opened the doorway to experience the ease and flow of connection. You open the doorway to experience of, I can have a really quickly turned on relationship that is emotionally charged and connected. It is possible. She had not experienced that up to this point. So she thought it was possible. She heard stories about it, but she never had the flavor of it. She gifted herself with the flavor of that ease and flow in relationship, of that emotional connection. So now she knows. She has a taste. Much like me with the sexual piece, I know what that feels like. I can taste it. I can smell it. I know what it feels like. And when it comes, oh my God. Like, you just know these things. And it's so much easier to draw in something when we've already sampled it, when we've already given ourselves the opportunity to explore and to experience, if even just for a moment in time in our life, when we offer ourselves the expansion and the tasting of what life has to offer in any subject area of our life, it's so much easier to consistently call it in or to get it back. There is, flip over to money real quick, and then I'm going to say hasta la vista. But there is a lot of study in the world of finance, like our money making and manifestation. And one of the things that is proven over and over again is that once you reach a certain bracket of income, like if somebody is making $15,000, $20,000, $24,000 a year, and then they start making $50,000 a year, and they do that for a couple of years, that's their new norm. So even if you take everything away from them and they lose it all, then they can quickly come back to that $50,000 mark. The same is true for somebody who's making $100,000. Once you make $100,000 consistently for a couple of years, it becomes your new normal standard. Your thinking, your energy, your everything resonates and attracts in ease 100,000. So you can strip that person completely clean of that ability. In other words, that job could go away. You could take their house, their car, their job, because this happens over and over again, where people will be making a nice amount of money and then something happens and poof, their world blows up and they're like, oh my God, I'm destitute. This is going on, that's going on. And the next thing you know, they're right back to it. They're making 100,000, they're making 250, they're making $500,000. They're right there because that's their norm. They don't know how to expect less. It's their normal level of income. If you want to grow from wherever you're at in any subject to whatever that new normalcy is that you're desiring, then you have to stop constricting. You have to open up the channels and the opportunity for it to actually come in, which means that you've got to go out there and get little samples of it. You've got to get little samples of it. You've got to appreciate it, even if it burns you, kind of. Like the story with my client, where ouch, it was 2 weeks, but it was 2 weeks of bliss. It was 2 weeks of experience. It was 2 weeks of tasting what is possible. And now she knows. Now she has that flavor. And then she can draw more of that in because if it's there. So if it's money, if it's health, the body that you're wanting, and realize that like when we come into health and the body that we're wanting, what are we doing? It's about a feeling, right? So those days that you actually do feel like you're really kicking it and it is really, really good and your body feeling great in your own skin, even if you're not the figure that you want, you're not the weight that you want, you don't have the health that you want, appreciate that day and really let it sink in. On that day, go and experience life to the max. Allow yourself to really, truly experience what life has to offer while you're feeling good, because you're going to create solid memory patterns that will help you to be triggered in the future. You'll be like, oh yeah. Next thing you know, you go to that park that you took that walk in on that day that you felt amazing. And then you smell the grass and you're like, oh yeah, I feel amazing again. I feel amazing again. That's what you need to find in any subject area. So I ask you today is, where are you constricting? How are you constricting? Where are you not allowing your own fucking joy and bliss in? Where are you saying no to yourself, thinking, oh, I got to get it right before I can receive? I got to get it right before I can receive. How about we just go and receive and let ourselves then get it right as we go? Because getting it right, ultimately at the end of the day, you're not going to do. You're not going to get it right. You're human, and you're going to fuck it up consistently. But you can receive along the way, and you can receive everything that you're wanting. And realize that it's all the feeling that you're going for. It's about the connection. It's about the love. It's about the fulfillment. It's about the happiness and the joy and the yumminess, the juiciness that life has to offer. You've got to open yourself up to that. This over here, this constricted version of you where you're like, no, I'm going to just say no to all that stuff. I'm not going to allow myself to experience. I'm not going to test the waters. I'm not going to, chance it. I'm not going to open up the doorway to that or to that. No, that's too risky. I'm not ready. Getting ready to be ready means to take action in the here and now to open up. That's the action you're looking for. It's to open up, to go, what can I experience? How can I grow here? Growing here is only giving you more here, okay? Going to turn you into an energetic bobblehead, and that's not attractive. That's not good. You get very, very up here, and you're going to constrict all of this. You got to get embodied. Got to have the experiences. Got to make the connections. Got to push your boundaries. Got to make yourself go, whoo, that was the raggedy edge. Like, whoa, that was cool. Let's do that. Because when you get into that raggedy edge, that's where expansion happens. And we don't deep dive off. We don't hang off the cliff and actually fall. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that rattle that you get, right where you're like, "Ooh, I'm pushing up against something. This is a land I've never been in. This is a land that it's a little scary, but I'm still safe. I'm still safe. I'm not comfortable, but I'm safe. Or at least I hope I'm safe. And I'm going to push it. I'm going to experience. I'm going to grow. And oh, my container just grew. Oh, now I'm comfortable a little bit. Now I've got to find that new raggedy edge. Grow, and call it in. Call in all those blessings, because everything that you're wanting, you're not going to get in the condition that you're in today. You're too small. You're too contracted. Your vessel's too small. And if you want those blessings, you got to grow your fucking container. That's what you have to do. So look for the opportunity to grow it. Okay, workshops. Local people, come grow your container with oral intimacies at the end of the month. On the 28th, we are talking some sexy talk around oral intimacies. Yes, that is oral pleasure for him and for her. This is a co-ed class for anybody in the local area, Dallas, Fort Worth area, or if you can get your butt here. Limited seating. This workshop will be in Dallas, and we are talking about different techniques, tips, tricks, how to get your partner to want to go down, different things that we can do to support our partners, overcome shame, and just the embodiment process. Oral sex is one of the most intimate expressions that we can experience with a partner. So let's look at the emotional, mental, physical connector pieces to this. Let Addison, Bill, and I teach you a little bit about some great tips and tricks on female and male oral sex. And it is a PG-13 class. There is no nudity for this class. Sorry, no nudity. We are going to be practicing some things, but not on each other. So very, very safe container on this, okay? Other workshop that is coming up, I believe on the 31st of the month, is our puja, our integration puja, and this month's it's all on getting lucky, and not the kind of getting lucky that you might think, although that could be a piece of it. Getting lucky is everything I was just talking about, actually. That's about getting lucky. How do you get lucky? How do you manifest that shit that you really want in your life? How do you call in those blessings? Well, some people out there are very, very blessed, right? They're very, very lucky. It just seems that everything just comes to them. Well, in this puja, we're going to be working through some of those things. You're going to be able to experience some complete game-changing experiences that are going to go like this to your mind and expand your energy, help you to expand your container. So local peeps, this is a Plano workshop. If you can get your butt to it, then definitely do. Everybody else out there in my global community of amazing, beautiful souls, look for some of the workshops that are coming out. I have some vagus nerve group coaching that's coming out. Addison and I are off to New York. We will be touching on teaching. My goodness, I can't talk all of a sudden. We will be teaching a class called Sex in the City, where we are going to be talking about modern day dating and sex, and giving you, I believe it's 10 tips and tricks on how to have some of the best sex, whether you are coupled or single. This is going to be coming out. So definitely look for that event to be coming out. This will be a global event available here on Facebook and on both of our websites as well. So look for the details on that. If you're looking for one-on-one coaching, want more help on anything that I talk about, message me in the comments, private message me, text, email. You get the drift. Message me, and we can make it happen for you. You deserve a fuck yes life. And as always, stop existing, start living, and I will catch you tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee. Bye, everybody.